good morning, and a very warm welcome to members of the media and the viewing public. Thank you for accepting our invitation and taking the time to join us this morning for the introduction of the $5, $10, and $20 polymer notes. Just in case you haven't seen it as yet, please note that the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation that was made this morning, is available on the bank's website. Feel free to download it and follow as we go through this morning's short presentation. The session will last for just about half an hour, starting with an overview by the governor, then a PowerPoint presentation by our manager of banking operations, Ms. Sharon Villafana, and you will have an opportunity to take the first look at the Know Your Money video. Following this, we invite the media to pose any questions that you might have, and that segment will be moderated by Mrs. Michelle Melville from our External Relations Department. So don't worry about taking notes, just relax, take in the session, look at the PowerPoint, and later today, we will post the video of this session on our YouTube channel, as well as the Know Your Money video, which will also be on the bank's website. Notwithstanding the pandemic, we will, as is customary, we will have our Know Your Money session. So on Friday morning at 10 o'clock, we will have a Know Your Money session for the public. You can look forward to details about that on our website and in the newspaper. But just to let you know, that's an interactive session, and we really look forward to you joining us for that public session. I just want to tell you that this morning will be short but interesting. Enjoy the session, and please give us your feedback. It is with pride and excitement that we launch these new notes, and I hand over now to the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Alvin Hilaire.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning to the media for your kind time that you're spending with us today. As Nicole said, we are very proud and excited to be able to launch our $5, $10, and $20 notes in Polymer today. So I will just briefly make an introduction and then hand over to our wonderful Head of Banking Operations, Ms. Sharon Villafana. So how did we get here? Let me start with the history of our polymer notes. As you see on this slide, in 2014, the central bank had a special edition note made in polymer, in gold, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. And you see it nicely there on the left-hand side. So this is the start of our journey into this realm. In December 2019, I think most of you will be familiar with our exercise, where because of a major national security imperative, we launched the $100 polymer note to replace the cotton note as legal tender. This was a very dramatic exercise. We had a lot of cooperation from everyone, from the citizens, from the security agencies, from the staff of the central bank, and above all from the commercial banks who were heart and soul of this operation. So this was the launch of the $100 polymer note. And as I said, on December the 9th, 2019, there were certain features of that note that would be replicated as we go along. But let me pause here and say one of the reasons why we are getting into this venture. And going back to if you go back to the previous slide, it would be on our cost items, because the polymer note is more cost effective. It costs a bit more, but it lasts much longer. In terms of specific, each note costs about 50% more, but each load lasts about 2.5 times longer. So you see the balance is such that we will be able to get the bang for the buck in that regard. And Sharon will take you to some of the other aspects, including the higher resistance to forgery, the tactile features that make it more appealing to the visually impaired, etc. But I wanted to make that strong point about durability and to place it in the context of our other efforts at cost effectiveness. You would, of course, remember in a couple of years ago when we demonetized or took out of circulation the 1 cent coin, because we found that the 1 cent coin costs a lot more to produce than it was actually being used as in terms of wood. So that saved us a lot of money. Also, we changed the metallic composition of the other coins. So you would notice if you look at your coins now, the 5, the 10, the 25-cent piece, they look the same. You won't know a difference, but there is a difference because they have a metal blank inside of it. So they are not magnetized as before. What that does is to reduce the amount of precious metal in the coin, but it is just as effective. So we are saving money in that area. In addition, we are continuing our work on looking at other methods of cost saving. So from next couple of months, we will be launching a study to see whether we should take the 5-cent coin out of circulation. You'll get the results about that after several months. We are also working with the commercial banks to see how we can monetize or reduce the cost of our currency operations. All of this in the context of getting things more streamlined, more cost-effective, particularly in this day and age. And I want to mention something that is also very important, which is our move as a country towards digitization. We know that we have, for sure, we are using a lot of notes and coins, but we really want to get as a country away from that to more digital forms of financial transactions. But that takes time, it takes effort, it takes commitment, and I think we have a lot of strides already in that regard. So look out for that digitization move where we could actually reduce our reliance on notes and coins as a whole. So let me go directly into some of the features of the note. The family features, I call it, of the new suite of notes. And again, as I said on December the 9th, 2019, the $100 notes is ushering in our new suite. So they will all be in the same family. We have a lot of different types of notes now. We want to bring them all into the same family so that we are clear in terms of how our notes look, and someone could recognize it as a Trinidad and Tobago note. So what are some of the features? In our view, we think that the $100 bill and the notes that are form part of the suite really encapsulate the character and soul of our people of our Twin Island Republic. What do I mean? Let me look at it in 3 aspects. The first is it is modern and streamlined. If you look at the note on the thing, you will see that it is very sharp, it is minimalist, but it is the lines are clean. It's just like engineering, as a friend of mine put it. So we have a sharp interface that is modern and that can stand up anywhere in the world as our currency. So that's the first aspect of our national culture, I would say. The second is our respect for tradition and history. And this comes about in quite a number of areas. First of all, we have a suite of notes already, and we want to maintain this lineage, as it were, in certain respect. The colors are the same as the notes that we have now. So the $1 bill will be red, the $5 bill green, the 10 gray, the 20 purple, the 100 blue, the 50 would be somewhat goldish, but it's a little tricky when you're trying to move from metallic colors to basic colors. But the colors would be able to relate from one to the next. So someone would not be able to get confused and say, oh, wait a minute, the $5 is now red. I wasn't familiar with that. No, they're all the same type of color. Some of the other themes are the same, or other aspects. So we have the birds. The birds you will notice, and some of you may not be aware of it, but on each of your notes now, you have a bird. And the same birds would be continuing in the new suite of notes. We have the coat of arms, item 2. The coat of arms is also prominent. We have the central bank building. It's also there. Then we have the similar themes. Now, what do I mean by theme? If, again, you examine your note, and you could take out one if you have it now, you look at the reverse side, and you would see something that is different. It could be an energy theme. It could be an oil derrick. It could be a steel pan. So each of the notes has a certain theme on it, and we replicate that in the new suites of notes. So on the $5 bill, you have a market scene. On the $10 bill, you have a waterfront scene. On the $20 bill, you have go back to the other one. You have the steel pan. On the $100 bill, as you know, you have the energy theme. And you notice I missed out 2, which is the 1 and the 50. We made a slight change because as it is now, we have 2 different 50s in circulation. One, which is the cotton, which has the red house in it, and the polymer 50, which has the carnival theme. So we kept the carnival theme for the current 50 that we're introducing. And we put the red house on the $1. So there you have it with our respect for history and tradition. The third aspect, of course, of our culture and our personality is our patriotism. And here is where item 1 on the slide, here you see our national flag, our beautiful national flag. And I think this is really an exciting feature for us. And actually, in my review of currencies across the world, you really don't see that much. So it is unique, and it really showcases what we are about. So these are the basic features, and Sharon will be able to get you more into those as we go along. So if you were to take a look now, you would see, you might not see it so well, but this is how all of them look as a whole. You know, you'd have all these nice streamlined currencies in your wallet at the end of the day. So in terms of the phases of introduction now, we have December 2019, the $100, and next week we'll be introducing the 5, 10, and 20. They're already here in the country. And in January 2021, we'll be introducing the 5 and the 10. So this is my basic introduction to it. I would just want to say that I think you will enjoy seeing the 5, 10, and 20s and having it in your wallet. But if you think those are amazing, just look out for the 1 and the 50. You'll have to wait a little while, don't worry, but they will be there. The 1 is has the red house on it, if you could see it here. So that looks amazing. And for me, the $50 is quite special. Maybe because I enjoy Carnival so much, it's part of me, that I have a special thing in my heart for the 50. But you have to hold off a little while to get those. So without further ado, let me pass on to our chief and our head of operations, Ms. Sharon Villafana.
Thank you, Governor. And again, good morning to everyone. Now today, following the issuance of the $100 Polymer notes in December, as Governor highlighted just now, the Central Bank just like to take you through some of the features of our new notes, which we'll be introducing on November 2nd, 2020, the $5, $10, and $20 Polymer. Now, as Governor alluded, Polymer gives us a lot more in terms of the durability and the useful life of our notes. So we have improved durability with Polymer notes. They afford us the ability to strengthen the security features in our banknotes, so we can protect against forgery. And we definitely, something that's close to our hearts, we are definitely able to offer some more defined tactile features for improved access for the visually impaired in our community. So those were some of the things that we are able to achieve and deliver to you with this new Polymer suite of notes. So as a quick guide to help you recognize genuine notes from others, we will take you through our tried and tested methodology. We will ask you to feel the notes, to look at the notes, tilt the notes, it's very interactive, and to utilize some simple tools, a magnifying glass or ultraviolet light to check some of the other features on the notes. So without further preamble, let me just take you into some discussions with respect to the notes. So as Governor said, we are maintaining a lot of the images on the previous cotton notes. Don't be alarmed by the size differential in the presentation. This is purely for emphasis. The polymer notes are just the same size as your cotton notes. So on the $5 note, you will notice there's the moth bird, there's the coat of arms, as Governor just said. On the reverse of the note, you see the central bank tower and the market scene. And that lovely national flag, every time I see it, I feel such a surge of pride in my currency. So I'm looking forward to the public's response to that as we move along. Now let's get a closer look at those notes. Now I'm holding up a note here for you as best as I can for you to see. Now in terms of feeling the notes, we're using the technology, the methodology rather, that we utilize in all our Know Your Money sessions. When you feel the notes, you can feel the raised print on the note, on the numeral, the coat of arms, the wording on the top and the bottom of the note. And the feel of the note is generally, of course, smoother than cotton notes because polymer is generally not a texture that doesn't have the consistency of texture of cotton. So it's a smooth plastic sort of feel. The reverse of the note is completely smooth, save and except for that feature for the visually impaired. It is in the form of an L shape on your 5. It is at the bottom of the note. If you feel carefully, you can feel the shape, and it is very pronounced. So this is what we have in terms of the feel, some of the feel features. So if we look at the note again, hold it up to the light, you'll see the clear window to the top of the note. And in it, you will see a green 5 represented at the top of the note. There's a hide and reveal feature in the solid block of green, which if you hold it up to the light, you will see the numeral for the denomination of the note that you have. So this is a $5. So you will see in the green block a white 5 appearing so that you'll be able to identify your note a little better. So with respect to the 5s and 10s, there is no tilt feature, but with what we have the fine microtext on the note in the swirly patterns of the note. We will be able to detect the words printed in very fine letters using a micro magnifying glass. You'll be able to see it. It says either 5 or Trinidad and Tobago 5 with the numeral on it. Over several places on the note, you'll be able to check that as well. Checking the note with an ultraviolet light, in the swirly patterns, you'll see 2 distinct colors represented under ultraviolet light. And this is one of the stronger security features that we've been able to implement utilizing the polymer substrate. Previously, this was not possible with the cotton notes. So now you can see, once you use ultraviolet light, you can see distinctly the 2 different colors showing up in the swirly patterns. And you will be able to see as well a medallion with the denomination of the note, which in this case is a 5, sorry, showing right under the ultraviolet light as well. That will be reactive for you. So just to take you through some of the similarities and differences in general on the notes, we know that we have the bird, the moth, we have at the reverse, we have the market scene that we maintain. The 2 notes, yes, utilize microtext between the cotton and the polymer notes, and they do have ultraviolet responsive features, which are in the 2 notes. However, with the polymer notes, we have more advanced ultraviolet features to be able to deter against forgery. We have as well intaglio print on the notes, and again, the stronger textile tactile features that you feel in form of raised dots on the polymer note that will also last a lot longer. What we recognize is that our tactile bars and our cotton notes tended to wear over time. With the polymer notes, they will last much longer into circulation. And as Governor alluded, polymer notes last about 2.5 times longer than cotton notes in circulation. So we look at some of the differences. Of course, the feel is different. The polymer notes are smoother. There's a hidden feature in the hide and reveal section at the base of the note. The clear window is ever present to the top of the note. And there's a printed security thread on this note as opposed to an interwoven security thread that we've had on all the cotton notes. Okay, so that took you through the 5. So let's look at the $10 note. So we have, again, the common themes represented on the $10 note. At the back of the $10 note, you'd see the port scene. On the face of the note, we have the Cocorico bird, the coat of arms, and again, that national flag. That's the big difference that we so love here at the Central Bank. So getting into the details, again, on the $10, you would have the raised print at the top and bottom of the note, the raised print in the numerals on the note, the coat of arms, etc. So all of these field features are generally in the front of the note. To the reverse of the note, it's a smooth feel generally. The entire back is smooth, save and except for the tactile feature that in the form of a C on the $10 note, which is implemented for greater access for the visually impaired. In the window, when you look at the note, you would see the $10 at the top in the denomination window, and at the bottom, you will see the $10 in the small window, the hidden numeral. Again, we have the microtext in each note that in this case is the $10. So you'd see the word 10 printed in the swirly patterns on your note, as well as the Trinidad and Tobago 10 will be on the note. On the ultraviolet light, when you're checking the notes, you will see the medallion with the 10 in it, as well as the 2 distinctly different colors in terms of the swirly patterns on the curved portion of the design. And you'll be able to distinguish that clearly under ultraviolet lights. Okay, so let's go through again similarities and differences. So we kept the theme, so we have the bird, the port scene, we have the microtext, use of microtext, we have strong UV features in the polymer notes, a little stronger, much stronger than the cotton notes. We have the use of intaglio print, which is a raised print that you feel on the notes, on the face of the notes, and we have the tactile feature on the rear of the note for improved access of the visually impaired. Again, the note polymer is smoother than cotton. There's no texture feeling to polymer. It's very smooth. There, we'll be able to implement a hidden numeral at the base of the note, so you can have a hide and reveal feature when you hold it up to the light. We have the clear window with the 10 printed clearly in it in solid color. In this case, it's green. And the polymer notes, again, are printed with a security thread rather than actually having the thread woven through the fabric, as with the cotton. So we're moving on to the $20 note, which is my favorite note in the whole suite. This note is so pretty. It is our purple. We kept the color consistent. Again, we have the similar themes, the hummingbird, the steel pan, the Central Bank Towers, the coat of arms, and we can just move straight along into the specific features of this note. Now, again, we have the raised print. If you run your fingers on the front of the note using the feel methodology, you run your fingers in the front of the note, top and the bottom of the note, you will feel the raised print, you will feel the 20, the numerals raised, and the coat of arms raised. At the back of the note, as I said, the note is completely smooth, save and except for that tactile feature for greater access to the visually impaired. In this case, it's a triangle at the base of the note here, and that will stand out in stark relief for improved access, and it will last a lot longer in circulation as well for the visually impaired. We have a clear window to the top of the note. Again, this time it's not in a solid color, it's in white. So the clear window at the top of the note has a 20 numeral in it, and the hide and reveal feature in the block, the purple block at the bottom, which has the $20 denomination numeral in it. This note has an additional added attraction for you. It has a clear window with a second window with the bird, the hummingbird is in a unique window all by itself. And it has an iridescent feature so that when you tilt the note, the bird shimmers. And you can also see the $20 denomination appearing as well when you tilt the note. So you'll see it moving. The colors are nice pink and purple shade, and it's beautiful note. It's a beautiful note. So again, as with all the other denominations, there's some check features that you can use some simple tools, magnifying glass and a UV light, ultraviolet light, to be able to distinguish these features. So the microtext you'll see with a magnifying glass, and that will again be a 20 for the $20 notes in the swirly patterns on the bill, as well as the fine printing of Trinidad and Tobago 20 on the notes in certain places. Now, on the UV light, you will also see the swirly patterns represented with two distinct colors again, which is an improved and stronger feature for the improved security of the $20 bill. And we have the medallion with the 20 denomination in it as well. So again, we go through the list of similarities and differences. By now, you know this by heart. We're maintaining a lot of the themes on the bird, on the notes, the bird, the scene, which is a steel pan. We're using microtext. We are using stronger and improved ultraviolet features, intaglio print, which is that raised print to the face of the note, and a stronger, more defined tactile features in terms of the triangle and the raised dots at the back of the $20 note. Similar differences between the two notes. We have a smoother feel of polymer to cotton. We see the hidden $20 at the base of the note. There's a clear window with the numeral 20 printed in it, and there's an additional window with the bird on the $20 note. And the polymer notes have the security thread as opposed to the woven thread in the cotton notes. So, I'm sure these are going to be some burning questions you have in your mind, but let me just take you through these one at a time. From November 2020, the central bank will be issuing the $5, $10, and $20 notes to commercial banks. Now, what does that mean? These polymer notes will co-circulate with the existing paper-based cotton notes. That means that all our notes, 5, 10, and 20s, will continue to be legal tender at least until the end of 2021. So there's no fear. We will maintain both sets of notes at least until 2021 with their legal tender status. Now, this presentation, I guess, was condensed. So there are a lot of additional sets of information that will be available to you on our website. We will be hosting a series of Know Your Money sessions, as Ms. Crooks alluded to, starting from Friday. And you can access our website for any additional information or email any additional questions to info@central-bank.org.tt or find us on our Facebook page for more detail. And now I'll take you into a sneak peek of our Know Your Money presentation for the new students. I'll now pass you over to Michelle Melville.
Good morning. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Governor Hilaire, for a most informative, concise presentation on our beautiful new Polymer $5, $10, and $20 notes. Now, I am your moderator for this morning's question and answer segment, and I encourage you to use the raise hand icon to indicate when you have a question. Once acknowledged, please state your name and the organization you represent. We would like to hear from as many of you as possible this morning in our allotted time frame, so we ask that you limit your questions to 2 per person. Right, so we can take your questions now. Ms. Bridger, you can go ahead.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm fine,
Good
thanks.
morning, panel, Governor, Ms. Villafana. So the first is, I just, forgive me if it was mentioned and I missed it. When is the $1 coming out?
The $1 notes will be coming out later, early next year, sometime after January.
Okay, the governor clearly already has his sample. And the second issue I'd like you to just elaborate on, if you can. You mentioned, you know, well, obviously the central bank is going into a thrust for e-money, digital currency. Tell me a little bit about the culture change to get that, because we are still fundamentally a cash-based society. People like to have their cash on hand. Who knows, maybe they want to be off the grid. Tell me a little bit about going into that sort of cash, that shift from cash-based to more digital currency, and and the transition that the bank is trying to encourage people to do.
Thanks for that very interesting question. I think that Trinidadians and Tobagonians are very sharp and very attuned to things, and the transition will be very easy. We are able to adapt very, very quickly to a lot of things. I remember when we were doing the demonetization, and people thought it might have taken a long time. People moved and they got with it. I think there are, however, some things that are fundamental that need to be addressed to make this smooth and successful. The first is public education, because people may not be familiar with the new technologies. Second is their comfort level may not be as strong because it is unfamiliar and because they may have been burned. And so we have to have a system whereby there is strong internet security, redress if you have problems, and so forth. So this is what would make the acceptability easy. But I think I have a lot of confidence in our people that we could move very swiftly. When we had the demonetization, I want to share with you that I particularly was surprised at how many people had money under their mattresses and so forth. And it did raise an awareness in the central bank that we need to be talking a bit more to people about using different forms of savings and so. But we did find, and a clear output from the paper that Reshma, one of my colleagues, and I did, was that deposits tended to increase. So people took money out of their mattresses or wherever, they put it into the commercial banks because they needed to convert it, otherwise it would have become demonetized. And they left a good part of it, so deposits did increase. So we saw already a shift in behavior. But I think, and I like the question, for it to be really solid, people have to know about it, first of all, and have the confidence that they can be able to transact securely. If you could do it securely, people will do it, because it does save you from having to lug around all this cash and for somebody to come and steal it from you, if you have it in your mattress or you have it somewhere else. But if people feel that they could steal it from your credit card or debit card, then they would be reluctant. So this is our perspective. We are working along with the TTIFC and some other bodies to move forward with digitization, and we are confident, but we would be doing our part, and we would be looking forward to the other actors to also jump in and help us along, so that people would be able to confidently use more digital interfaces for their financial transactions.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Carla. Hi, Carla. We acknowledge you. You can proceed.
Hi again. Thanks for that, Governor. Just a follow up. How then would you gauge the level of confidence then? I'm so sorry. Clearly, I'm next to Main Road. Yeah, how would you then gauge the level of confidence in the population to shift to digital currency? And Miss Villafana, if you will, do you expect any kind of the curiosity factor, I suppose, that might be like a kind of rush when these bills come on the market?
Okay, well, I'll take the second part of your question in terms of the expected rush. Well, you know, Trinidadians love to get the latest thing, right? So I'm sure that the commercial banks will be faced with their clients asking for the new notes. But, you know, there's no need for actual fear in the public. It's with respect to their previous experience with the $100 cotton exchange. This, as we said, the note will continue to co-circulate, and the cotton and polymer will co-circulate until at least the end of 2021. So we have time to acquire the notes. And yes, if we love the notes, we love to have the newest things. So we do expect that the public will respond, especially with the beauty of the notes. They'll respond very favorably in terms of the adoption of the polymer.
Yes, thank you again for the follow-up question. With respect to our gauging of the confidence, I think you gauge it by what people do. And people could say anything, but if we find that people are using transactions more, then that is really the proof of the pudding. Again, with the demonetization, what we found is that because people were not using they were trying to get rid of their $100 cotton notes necessarily, and they ended up using more the links transactions and credit card transactions. And so they actually moved into this comfort zone. So we think we do have metrics on this. So Sharon and other people in our supervision department look at the payment system data regularly. What do we look at? We look at ATM transactions with cash. We look at people using their credit cards, people using their debit cards, and checks and all of this sort of thing. So we do have a good gauge. We have found over time that there has been a reduction in the use relative of cash, a reduction relative in the use of checks, an increase in the use of credit card and debit card transactions. But there could be a lot more. So for example, what we call ACH, automatic clearinghouse transactions, and these things, we need to move that a little further along. Some of it is institutional, so that in particular, some of the government financial transactions, you could still only use it by check. So we need to get that going so that people are able to get money instead of getting money by cash. So if you are a daily paid worker and you get money by cash, well, then you get cash already. Then you have to spend the cash and you would get change in cash and all that. If you get into your account, then you might use your electronic interfaces. So the government is a big part of this. They are trying to move along with electronic transactions. Some of the legislation still needs to be updated. But we do have the metrics. We do track them religiously. In our annual report, we report on it. And we are trying to move forward with getting us more into that realm. So one specific project that we're working on is reviewing our payments legislation. And so our team is hard at work on that. We will get some technical support from the IMF already, and to be able to work on updating our legislation so people can have the legal backing for their transactions. Because believe it or not, some of the things that you might think are obvious are not. Some transactions have to be satisfied by a registered check in this day and age, as opposed to just a transfer from one account to the other. But we are pushing ahead, along with our counterparts, and we have confidence that we'll be able to move things along.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Carla, for that question. If you're not seeing the raise hand icon, you can also type your question in the chat field and we will get to you. Yeah, we thank you for viewing our session on the introduction of the new Polymer 5, 10, and $20 notes. Just to recap, note that we have a Know Your Money session scheduled for Friday. At this session, participants will be educated on the notes of on the features, of the new notes, so that you would be able to identify these features. Information on the session will be posted on the bank's website and Facebook account, so you can look out for more there. We look forward to sharing with you and to hosting that session with you. You know that the notes will be available for use from next week, and all materials shared today, the webinar presentation, the Know Your Money video, the presentation, PowerPoint presentation, these are all available on the bank's website. You will also have access to them on the Facebook and YouTube channel. So please go look for them. We will also let you know of information, public notices, and the posters with the security features will also be available via the bank's website. So you can visit our website and download the information, become more familiar with the new notes. Right, so we thank you for sharing this time with us. As we leave, we encourage you to continue following the protocols set out by the Health Ministry to stay safe and most of all to stay well. From us here at Central Bank, Governor, Sharon, and the rest of the team, we wish you a wonderful day. Take care.